Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Terry Wilson. Whenever you apply to become a graduate student here at SMU, you actually have to pay a fee to become a student here at the Simmons School. And I am here to help you learn how to get your money back. So hopefully that's enticing enough to where I can get your attention for at least my short 15-minute talk today. So hopefully it works. We'll see. Um, so, like I said, my name is Terry Wilson. I'm here on behalf of the Simmons Graduate Council. If you would get out a sheet of paper and a pen or pencil, whatever you want to write with, because I'm going to be going over a few key dates that you're going to want to make sure that you take note of, okay? So, a little bit about this presentation. I'm going to be talking about understanding SMU, Simmons, and the Simmons Council as a whole. Also, I'm going to go over the goal of the council, and I'm also going to talk about what can the Simmons Graduate Council help with, restrictions, and how do you apply. At the end, I'm going to go over some FAQs, and so I'll answer hopefully some FAQs, and I'll give you my contact information at the end as well. So you are at SMU, and at SMU there are 5 schools. We have the College School of Business, Dedman, Simmons, Law, and Meadows. Well, where do you fall under Simmons? So let's kind of dive a little bit deeper and understand where under Simmons you fall. Well, under Simmons, you fall under the Applied Physiology and Wellness, among the other 4 other branches of Simmons. Now, under Applied Physiology and Wellness, there are other degree plans. You have Applied Physiology and Health Management, the Sport Management for the Bachelor's of Science. You are the Master's students, so this is where you are in red. And you have Health Promotion Management as well, with Sport Performance and Leadership. We're going to back up just a little bit. So we're actually going to be talking about the Simmons level. And the Simmons Graduate Council has 5 different branches under it, just like the Simmons School. So we are wanting to represent each one based on different positions on the board. The board is made up of 5 members. It's the president, the vice president, the treasurer, the secretary, and I am the communications officer. Currently, the president is Lori Hess-Tolbert. She's the president. We have Mark Sager for vice president, Trina Knox for the treasurer, Justin Dion for the secretary, and I'm the communication officer. Now, if we go back and look at this, we have a faculty advisor. The faculty advisor here, they serve as an advisory role. They don't really do anything specifically. They are just there to advise us on what we can't do as a board, and what some rules that we need to follow, or maybe some things that we might not have thought about. In this case, that advisor is Dr. Anthony Petrosino, or Dr. P. He is the Associate Dean for Research and Outreach. The goal of the council is to really help foster growth and development across activities. It's kind of broad, but it's good to be broad in this sense. Now, what can you use the funding for? This is the $1 million question. Everybody likes to know, well, what's the funding? What can I use the money for? How do I get it and all that? So we'll get into how do you get it, but let's talk about what you can use it for first. So conferences, networking events, anything sport related that you can actually learn from or professionally develop. So think of committees and things like that outside of school that you can do. Also travel and books. Little asterisk here. Books that are not classroom related. I know, I can't help it. I wish we could pay for your books for school, but we can't. So that's on your own. But if you want to learn more outside of the actual textbooks that you're wanting to focus on, we can do that. Now then, popular among the sport management cohort is the DICE, WICE, IAVM, SBJ, and Sport Techie. Some of these have subscription services. Now, there's a little asterisk there with subscriptions in there. It can only be for the time that you're a student. So it can't be longer than that. Also, it can't be anything that you're in class for. So as long as it's outside of your classwork and for your personal development, sport focus. That's what we'll be looking at. Okay. Now, restrictions. Everybody wants to know, well, what can't you use the money for? So you can't buy food, you can't buy alcohol, and you can't buy anything technology related, such as a laptop, iPad, phone, service, tablet, things like that. Now, that's because you can resell that, and that can't be dedicated to a specific development portion. Now, you also can't use this for goods or services that you bought yourself, such as a plumber, things like that. It has to be very specific, okay? And you also, the biggest one, you can't use it for anything in the classroom. If it's classroom related or coursework related, you cannot use it. It has to be outside of the classroom. Now, then I want to talk to you about the headshot event that I did last year. So my goal was to actually have everybody in the Simmons that falls underneath Simmons to actually have a free headshot. I wanted to provide a headshot event, have a photographer come out, take pictures of everybody outside during COVID, and actually get that taken care of. So I found a photographer, had the estimate approved. She submitted, hey, here's how many people we're going to have. And then I provide the logistical support for the photographer and the council. We execute the event and we paid the photographer for her services. At the end, we had almost 100 people with headshots. So these are all the people that had headshots done. It turned out to be a great event. And we're actually looking for someone to head this up for next year. So if you love working with logistics and want to actually learn how to put on that type of an event, contact me. Contact somebody at the very end of this. Contact me and we can work that out. Okay. I would love to have somebody do this every single year. This is a great way to help the actual community of SMU and Simmons as a whole be more. Now, in the middle here, we have on the far left, we have Farina, the old president. We have the vice president there from last year, Trina, myself, and then we have Mark on the end. Now, I want to talk about the process of the application. So you all applied for graduate school. You paid fees to be in the school. And now these fees went into an account for the Simmons Graduate Council. Now, then these fees just sit there until students apply for the funding. And now after they apply for the funding, if approved, the student receives the funding. It's pretty easy. Now, if you Google the Simmons Graduate Council at SMU, you're going to find this link. Excuse me. You're going to find this link here, and on this page, I actually want to zoom in and show you these important dates, okay? These dates are the ones I want you to take note of. So I'm going to stay here a little bit longer so that way everybody can see this, take a picture of it, or write it down. September 6th is the first window when it opens, and it's going to close on September 19th. And then in January for spring, it's going to open on January 31st and be open for roughly 2 weeks until February 13th. For summer, you're going to have from April 5 through April 17 to apply, okay? So now this is the main landing page here. If you Google SMU Graduate Council at SMU, you're going to click on the first one. It's going to bring you this web page here. Now, I want you to look here for the application for funding. That's where you would apply. You're going to need your student ID. They're going to want to know where you are in Simmons. You're going to be in the applied physiology and sport management. Then you're going to basically submit your receipts. You're going to submit, here's the things I want to be funded for. And you're just going to make your testimony of, hey, here's what I want funding for. And that way, when we review that as a board, we're going to go, okay, this person is actually going to stick within the rules. It's going to be worthy of funding, okay? So with that said, I'm going to go into the FAQs, okay? I understand there's going to be questions that I'm not going to answer with this. So I'm going to give my contact information at the end so you can reach out. But I'm going to go through a few FAQs that I've encountered. The first one is, can I use the council to fund memberships? Absolutely, you absolutely can, as long as that membership is not a lifetime membership and it only is the membership of the time that you're actually a student at SMU. So there's a few restrictions there, but absolutely you can. Now, can you apply more than once? Absolutely. You have the limit of up to $1,500 as your student at SMU. Now, this is a little bit of a typo because that's actually per academic year. I'll correct this in the following question here, but you can apply more than once. So if you apply one window, use $250 there. You apply the next window, use $250 there. You still have $1,000 on your name on that account. So it's pretty easy. Now then, what specifically is not covered by the council for funding? So these items are all that are not covered specifically. First class travel, room service, alcohol beverages, taxi, Uber shuttles, baggage claims, What's not mentioned here is you can't use anything for coursework. Uh, that's also not mentioned here, but that's part of the FAQs that I've also seen. Now, is there fine print? Absolutely. There always is fine print. Amounts awarded may be dependent upon the number of quality applications. If we have 500 applications, but we only have so much money, we have to narrow that down. So that's what the fine print is. So we might not be able to fund everybody, but we're going to try. So we try to do the most that we can with what we have. Now, are there limitations? Yes, there's always limitations. The maximum support a student can receive per academic year, this is the correction I'm making here from earlier, 2 to 3 slides ago. The maximum support a student can receive is $1,500 per academic year. The academic year begins in the fall and concludes in the summer. So you're going to be available $1,500 now and basically 3 cycles for $1,500. That's what it is. Okay. Next question is, do I get funding prior to the event or after the event has occurred? This is a little bit mixed, but before you might be awarded money, but until you actually submit the receipts and things like that, you're not going to be getting it. So it has to be after the event, basically. So now then, I'm going to give you my contact information. My name is Terry Wilson. My email address is terryw@smu.edu. And my cell phone number is 731-445-0791. Feel free to text me. If you do text me, please include your name, who you are, as in like you're a student at SMU, and questions you have regarding the graduate council. Email is probably gonna be the best way to reach me right now because I'm having a baby, or not me, my wife is. So I might not be able to reply as quick, but I'm gonna try my best. Now, I'm going to go back over the application deadlines here briefly. Here is another look at those. So application deadlines, that's going to be September 6th. That's going to open here in just about a week and a half, 2 weeks and a half, depending on when this is shown. And it's going to be open for about 2 weeks, okay? So if you want your application for funding in there, this is when you have to do that, okay? Now, that's all I have. I hope I wasn't too boring, and I hope you have a great time here at SMU. You're going to have an amazing time. Really learn the most you can from all these amazing professors and leverage their knowledge. It helps. Hope you have a wonderful day.